After beating 3 straight out-of-state teams, Ursuline will try for its first win over an Ohio school this year. Warren Harding has found a way to remain perfect and can now clinch a scaled-down version of the Steel Valley Conference title with a win tonight. It's a clash of SVC rivals. Next on Fox 1762.
Forget about the highlights. We've got the whole game. It's the Fox 1762 High School Football Game of the Week.
Good evening and welcome to Mollenkoff Stadium in Warren for Week 6 of the high school football season. Hi everyone, my name is Rob Schmidt, and in just a moment we'll be joined by our color analyst Ralph Sandy. Now Warren Harding and Ursuline have gone back and forth over the years in the Steel Valley Conference, but there's a different twist to tonight's game which the coaches really don't want to talk about, and that is the play of Delbert Ferguson, now a member of the Harding Raiders, but a year ago he lined up with the Ursuline Irish. Let's bring Ralph in to get a little more insight. It's something that, I guess is unspoken, Ralph. What does it really mean to the game tonight?
Well, I think the biggest role it'll play tonight is motivation. Delbert Ferguson, I'm sure, will be motivated to do well against his former teammates, and I'm sure his former teammates will be motivated to try to stop him.
And we'll find out if any other players will step up. I'm sure they will. We'll see as this game progresses. Tonight, it's the Steel Valley Conference showdown between Ursuline and Warren Harding.
The Fox 1762 High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you by Columbiana Buick Olds Cadillac Chevrolet, the Associated School Employees Credit Union, Transit Tours, and The Vindicator.
And we are set for the start of the second half to the regular season in high school football. A beautiful night here in Warren. The Raiders hosting Ursuline tonight. Harding receives the opening kickoff after winning the coin toss tonight. 3 guys back deep awaiting the kickoff, the deepest of which in the middle, number 8, Thaddeus Walker, averaging about 19 yards per kickoff return. Flanked on the left by Mario Manningham, number 1, averaging 22 yards per return. And to the near sideline at the bottom of your screen, number 6, John Richardson, averaging almost 17 yards per kickoff return this season. Warren Harding comes in 5-0 overall. They've already won 1 game in the conference, having edged out Cardinal Mooney earlier this season. Ursuline, having won 3 straight, now stands at 3-2 overall this year. And there are a lot of computer points on the line for both teams tonight. The Irish will look to Dan Craig, number 11, to get the game underway. He'll tee the ball up at his own 40-yard line as we get set for tonight's contest. Raiders have won the last 2 meetings between these two schools, and Ursuline right away showing some respect for the Raiders' deep men. So a squib down the middle covered by Eddie Gore of the Raiders. Actually covered in part by Willie Dukes, number 47, not 17. But the Raiders will start 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. Here's a look at Harding's starting offensive line, and they are solid. Adrian Barbudas in the middle at center. Lonnie McDonald, Paul Bunsick are the guards. Rocco Cerrone and Dante Campbell are the tackles, and Anthony Hoke is the tight end. The backfield, Alex Ingram, who transferred in from Texas. His father is a Warren native. Delbert Ferguson and Richard Davis in the backfield. Manningham and Walker are the wideouts for Warren Harding. In fact, the Raiders will actually start with a 3 wideout set with Manningham and Walker to the top of the screen, and Ingram to throw on 1st down from the 34, and he fires to Thaddeus Walker, who cannot make the catch. The officials rule that he trapped the football, so the incompletion on the opening play of the game will result in a 2nd down now for the Raiders. As far as Ursuline's defense is concerned, they will be tested tonight. The linemen consist of Ryan Hackett, Andrew Edmonds, and Anthony Golpe. The linebackers very good. John DeSantis, a former Steel Valley Conference Player of the Week. Brad Turnbull, Dom Catrone, and Andrew Fresco. The secondary will be tested. They are solid. Walt Lacey, Bryant Youngblood, Brad Borghetti, and Terrell Washington patrolling the secondary for the Irish here tonight. 2nd down from the Raiders' 34. Ingram out of the gun, wants to throw again. This time dumps it off complete to Richard Davis. And Davis, with nice moves up the near sideline, will step out of play at the 44-yard line. It'll be a gain very close to the 1st down marker. Richard Davis now with a team-high 10 receptions this season for Warren Harding.
Here you see the play, just set up a screen. That was the way it was designed. Get some blocking out front. He's able to make a few moves and get up the sidelines, and he's about 1.5 inches away from going all the way.
And Davis gets enough yardage for a 1st down, a gain of just over 10. So the Raiders with their initial 1st down of the night. Alex Ingram, the quarterback for Warren Harding, a 5'11", 212-pound senior, averaging about 111 yards per game through the air. He's completing roughly 55% of his passes this season. And Harding come out throwing the football. Now they go back to the ground game. Richard Davis, who leads the team in rushing, runs the ball out close to the 48 for a pickup of nearly 4. Davis with 457 yards rushing this season on 76 carries. He leads the team with 10 rushing touchdowns this year. Harding this season normally gets off to quick starts. They have fallen behind over the past couple of weeks in the opening period, but they've outscored the opposition 49-22 in the first quarter so far this season. Opening drive of the night for the Raiders. Davis the lone setback. Ferguson a wing to the left. Davis tried to cut back and will lose yardage on the play. DeSantis in there defensively along with Costantini. Ursuline's defense this season has given up 28 first quarter points, but they get better as the game goes on.
They really what a luxury for Harding to have two top quality running backs back there, playing Richard Davis and Delbert Ferguson, two players who, would start on nearly every team, and able to have in the same backfield, really an advantage.
So now the Raiders faced with a possession down here on 3rd and long. Football just shy of their own 47. Ingram again out of the gun, flanked by Ferguson and Davis. He'll run the quarterback draw. Carries it out to midfield. Ingram tackled on the play by Andrew Edmonds of Ursuline. And Ingram is stopped short of the first down marker, so the Raiders will have to punt it away for the first time tonight. Isaac Cheney, number 4, comes in to punt. And the Irish will get the ball after a good defensive stand.
Yeah, nice job by the Irish. I think they knew that was coming a little bit, the quarterback draw. He kept it up the middle, and he said Edmonds made a great play for a defensive lineman. So good stand.
Cheney this season averaging just under 32 yards per punt. Back deep awaiting his kick, Derek Stewart of the Irish. He's averaging almost 11 yards per return. And he may get a chance to return one here. Nope, he'll step aside. And a great bounce for Harding. Cheney pins the Irish inside the 10. A great punt by Isaac Cheney. And Ursuline will start 1st and 10 from just beyond its own 6-yard line. And against the Raiders' Blood D, that is not the prime real estate that head coach Dan Murphy was looking for.
No, what a great punt. Like you said, it was about a mile and a half in the air when it came down, took a great Harding bounce out of bounds, and now Ursuline starts, their possession in not too good a field position.
So the Irish coming in averaging 28 points a game this season. And they will begin 1st and 10 from the 6. Darrell Clark, number 8, the quarterback for Ursuline, out of the gun. So both teams coming out in a spread formation to begin the game looking to throw the ball. But for Ursuline, they will go to the ground, give to Terrell Washington. Running room out to the 15, ahead to the 16. He may have a first down. Tackle on the play by Joe Finnessy. So the Irish coming out running the football. They have a very well-balanced attack for the most part, predicated more on the pass though, Ralph.
Yeah, and they set up like it was going to be a pass and able to come with that little draw up the middle. I think caught Harding a little bit off guard, and it gives him some breathing room down here.
Washington this season had carried the ball 46 times prior to tonight for 319 yards. A week ago, he had 70 yards rushing in the victory over Rochester Aquinas and scored a touchdown. Clark to throw for the first time. Fires incomplete. Looking for Derek Stewart, his favorite target this year. And here's a look at the Irish starters offensively. We've talked about a few of these guys. Up front, the big bullies, Dom Catrone at center, Mike Constantini and Andrew Edmonds are the guards. Anthony Golpi and Mike Bartos are the tackles. You'll hopefully hear of Brandon Braxton as the game continues on tonight. The offensive backfield, led by Darrell Clark at quarterback, James Allen, the team's leading rusher, and the wideouts are solid, spearheaded by Walt Lacey. In fact, all 3 wideouts now to the bottom of your screen. That is Mosley in motion, however. Clark in trouble, and actually it's Allen in trouble. James Allen has nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. He'll go down at the 11. And the Raiders' defense, maybe one of the quickest defense we'll see all season.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages Harding has, is the fact that they're so quick. They try to run a little motion to the right, try to get maybe the defense to shift a little bit, but Harding's speed is so much that even if they fall for it, they're able to come back and make up for it.
Here's a look at that Raider defense. Anthony Hoke, one of the guys in on that last stop, along with Phil McNeil, they're the defensive ends. Tony Reed and Mark Allen will see some time at tackle. Jante Stroud, Deshaun Robinson, and Ben Elser are the linebackers. Elser, a former Steel Valley Conference Player of the Week. Walker and Kelson, the defensive backs. Matlock and Finnessy, the safeties. Darrell Clark in trouble. He will go down at the 1-yard line, pulled down by the jersey. A great play defensively by Deshaun Robinson, number 23, and the Irish in big trouble now having to punt the football away from their own end zone.
Yeah, one of the problems you're going to have down here, and I think they're going to have all night, is the fact that he's not going to be able to take deep drops. You know, they're going to have to stick with the 3-step drop, the quick stuff, because this Harding defense is just too strong and too fast.
So now, from the back end line, the Irish will have to punt it away. John Butler to boot it away. He's been averaging roughly 34 yards a punt this season. Fair catch made by Thaddeus Walker at Ursuline's 29-yard line. So with just over 8 minutes to go in the opening quarter, we'll step aside. Each team's opening drive of the night results in a punt. We'll come back with the Raiders' possession as they threaten to score the first points of the night. It's Ursuline at Warren Harding. This is the game of the week on Fox 1762.
Quarter of the Fox 1762 High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you by the Youngstown Center of Massotherapy.
Youngstown College of Massotherapy is the best place to begin your career as a massotherapist. We're the first and largest massotherapy college in the Mahoning Valley, and we're fully accredited by ACC, SCT, and approved by the Ohio State Medical Board. You can earn your diploma in as little as 18 months. We're in the process of developing affiliation with YSU towards an associate's degree in technical studies. Massotherapists from the Youngstown College of Massotherapy are in demand. Call us today.
Want to get away for a day or two but don't feel like driving? Call Transit Tours and ride in comfort in one of their state-of-the-art motor coaches. If you love to gamble, Transit Tours has trips to many popular casinos, including Greektown every Monday, Seneca Niagara on Tuesday, and Mountaineer Park every Wednesday. Other destinations include the Carousel Dinner Theater, Sugar Creek, and Atlantic City. Whether if it's for 1 day, 2 days, or even longer, call Transit Tours for all your charter needs. 330-755-0770.
As a YSU student, it was so nice to have an ASCCU office right here on campus. I could withdraw money anytime I needed it and take care of all my other financial needs. Now that I've graduated from YSU, I can still belong to ASCCU and continue to take advantage of their great services.
Stop by one of ASCCU's 3 convenient locations in Austintown, Boardman, and on the YSU campus. You'll see why the Associated School Employees Credit Union is the best place to save and the only place to borrow.
Save up to $7,500 on a new Oldsmobile Bravada at Columbiana Buick Olds Cadillac Chevrolet, where a new Bravada starts at $27,962. Oldsmobiles are backed by the GM commitment, a 5-year, 60,000-mile protection plan or cash alternative with continued availability of parts and service. Where will you find the best selection of General Motors' finest cars, trucks, and SUVs at Ohio's largest Columbiana Buick Olds Cadillac Chevrolet.
We're all here tonight for one reason, to keep Homer away from the buffet.
Springfield hosts a roast.
These people are professional roasters. Don't give them fodder.
And the man of the hour, Homer Simpson.
Are the proceeds going to charity?
Hell no. Woohoo!
With a lineup that's out of this world.
You weren't in dress rehearsal, so you're not in the show. Ah! Can't be good for my pacemaker.
The Simpsons.
Monday night at 7 on Fox 1762.
So a first down give to Thaddeus Walker on the end around. But Ursuline there to snuff it out nicely, and a great closing tackle by Ryan Hackett, the senior for the Irish. Walker pays the price after gaining 3.
James Allen does a nice job as the outside linebacker over on this side to stay home. They run a little misdirection to the left, able to get his hands on him and eventually get some help. So nice job at staying home. They see Ryan Hackett, he's the one that came and cleaned up the play.
And really got the ooze from the crowd here for that hit. Second down now for Warren Harding from the Irish 26. Delbert Ferguson now the deep back, but Ingram to throw, and he fires too tall for Mario Manningham. Ingram this season has thrown for 503 yards and 7 touchdowns, and the biggest statistic about the Raiders quarterback this season is that he has not thrown an interception through the first 5 games of the year.
Yeah, that's incredible for a young quarterback to be able to come into this program with all the pressure that comes with it and able to perform and make good decisions like he has this year.
Second, third down opportunity now coming up for Warren Harding. Raiders failed on their first try of the night. Ball returns to the Ursuline 26-yard line. Ingram from the gun, flanked by Davis and Ferguson. Ingram fires. Has his man, catch made, Pete Sparks. First down yardage for the Raiders to the Irish 14-yard line. That's a pickup of 12. For Pete Sparks, his 9th grab of the season.
Yeah, make no mistake about it, Alex Ingram is going to Pete Sparks on this play. Doesn't look off, stares at him the entire time, still able to fire it in there for the completion.
Tackled by Walt Lacey of Ursuline. And actually the gain just inside the 14, close to the 13-yard line. Just over 7 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. This drive for Harding started because their punter, Isaac Cheney, pinned the Irish deep inside the 10. Harding's defense held Ursuline, forced them to punt from the end zone, giving the Raiders great starting field position on this drive. Now it's Richard Davis trying to find the corner, and he does. Touchdown Raiders. For Richard Davis, his 11th rushing touchdown of the season. It's the 19th for Harding as a team on the ground.
When we talked about the speed on Harding's defense, here we see the speed on Harding's offense. Richard Davis, just a simple sweep, one key block to get. He gets it outside right down here by the end zone and able to push it in.
So on for the extra point attempt will be Joe Spain. He was the hero a year ago in the victory against Lakewood St. Edwards in a playoff game, which we televised on Fox. This season, Spain has not missed an extra point, according to our numbers. 22 of 22 so far this season. He'll kick this attempt out of the hold of Pete Sparks. High snap, but everything else works accordingly, and the Raiders have added the extra point. 6:17 to go in the first half. Warren Harding has jumped out quickly, 7-0 over Ursuline. And Ralph, it's imperative now that the Irish respond. I mean, a year ago in this matchup, Ursuline led 10-7 at the close of the first quarter, but eventually lost 43-10.
Yeah, obviously that they can't fall behind early. But one of the things that really played a key role in here was special teams. I mean, special teams that pinned them back there with the fair catch. They got on the ball with 29. So, I mean, we always talk about Harding's offense, Harding's defense, and really the special teams set up that score.
Now the Raiders moved 29 yards in 4 plays. The final 13 yards covered by Richard Davis. And then the extra point followed, and the Raiders have now jumped out to a 7-0 lead over Ursuline. Well, Tom McDaniels, as you get a look at right there, has once again returned Warren Harding football to prominence statewide. It has always been there for the most part, but this gentleman has a great history of winning football games, whether he's here in Warren or at Camp McKinley. Now in his 4th season with the Raiders, McDaniels took Harding to the state championship game a year ago, which they just lost to Cincinnati Elder. But overall, look at that record, 37-6 in his time spent here in Warren.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. I mean, 37-6 records over 4 years. I mean, most programs would die to have that.
So for the Raiders, John Flaminio will tee the ball up and kick it away from his own 40. Back deep for the Irish. Number 2, Walt Lacey. Number 21, Terrell Washington. Lacey averaging about 38 yards per kickoff return. I'd be shocked if Flaminio sent it his direction. Now this will be Lacey from the 4. Looking for some help. And he goes down at the 16-yard line. So Lacey with a 12-yard kickoff return, and the Irish still with poor field position to begin a drive offensively.
Yeah, you know, and I think the poor field position really takes them out of what they want to do. You know, we talked about the open offense, the passing, and the running that they like to do. And being pinned back here, you kind of have to be a little bit conservative.
So Walt Lacey unable to get the yardage off the kickoff that he wanted to. And now it's up to Ursuline's offense to try and respond and answer the Raider touchdown. James Allen, the deep back. In fact, the only back behind Darrell Clark. Give to Allen. Out to the 19, close to the 20. Elser in on the stop. Assisted on the play by Finnessy. Allen coming into the game, 446 yards rushing this season on 46 carries, and he has 2 rushing touchdowns to his credit.
One of the neat things that Ursuline and really Harding so far has done, they come out in a lot of different formations, you know, and as a defensive coordinator, you need to prepare your team for everything you're going to see, and both of these teams present a pretty good package.
So second down now for Ursuline from just shy of their own 20-yard line. This is Washington. Lead blocked by Turnbull, but Washington unable to get to the corner. The Raiders' Anthony Hoke and Roger Matlock in on the stop, and Washington will lose a couple of yards back to the 17.
It's unfortunate he loses some yards on there because I'll tell you what, Brad Turnbull coming right here as the lead blocker, just absolutely flattens Joe Finney. But again, the speed, the Warren defense able to come up and stop anything outside.
And now 3rd and long for the Irish. Ursuline trying to get itself set offensively from the 17. 5 minutes and some change left here in the opening quarter. Clark out of the gun. Throws. Ball goes through the hands of Byron Mosley. The sophomore unable to make the grab. Had he made the catch, he had first down yardage.
And again, that's what I was talking about earlier. Those are the type of plays that Ursuline's going to need to run to be successful. The quick stuff. You know, you saw all the Ursuline linemen go down right away to kind of cut block to give him the time to pass it. Just throws an incompletion there.
So John Butler to punt. His first effort of the night covered 28 yards. Again, he's been averaging just over 34 a kick this season. Twin safeties for Warren back deep. Thaddeus Walker and John Richardson. This time, the ball hits one of the Raiders and is quickly covered by Warren Harding. The ball ricocheted off of Eddie Gore. And alertly, he falls on it again for Warren Harding. That could have been disaster for the Raiders.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, they've kept Ursuline down really inside their own 20 all night, and had they had a turnover there, Ursuline would have had some momentum. But, you know, this is a big drive. There you see the deflection off Eddie Gore's head. Looks like maybe John Richardson or Eddie Gore gets that ball back. This is a big play for Ursuline. You know, we talked about falling behind early. You know, it's certainly something no team wants to do, but defense played well on that first series and need to do it again right here.
So Warren again will start in Ursuline territory. The Raiders will begin at the Irish 49. Ferguson, first carry of the night. Gain of 2. Close to the 47-yard line. A year ago, Ferguson, wearing the green and gold of Ursuline, led his team in rushing against Warren Harding, carrying the ball 17 times for 84 yards. And we talked about that at the pregame show. You know, what's going through that young man's mind right now, facing his friends and former teammates?
Yeah, you know, it's got to be pretty emotional. It's not a situation you see very often, you know, in high school and college football, people changing teams, but, you know, it's becoming somewhat common now, and, you know, it's a unique situation to be in.
So the gain leaves the ball just shy of the Ursuline 47. 2nd and long for the Raiders. Ingram with time. Fires and has his man. Sparks makes the grab and turns inside the 40, close to the 39-yard line. But from the spot, I think he's going to be about a half yard shy of the marker.
I think you can see on these plays lately that Alex Ingram, he really has a shotgun for an arm. I mean, he's able to wing that ball in there, even though that Ursuline has pretty good coverage out there, able to get it in there.
And it will be 3rd and short now for Harding. Ingram tonight, 3 of 5 through the air already for 31 yards. Sparks has caught a pair of those passes. We have just over 3 minutes left in the opening quarter. Warren scored on its last possession. And the Raiders looking again to get on the board, but Delbert Ferguson trapped in the backfield. Tries for a second effort, but will still lose 1.5 yards. He's knocked down at Ursuline's 41-yard line.
Yeah, you got to figure those Ursuline defenders, when they see him get the ball, got a little bit of extra oomph to themselves to get to him. It's the handoff simple up the middle, trying to gain the yards that they need. And, you know, good effort by Delbert Ferguson trying to get out of there, but he's gang tackled by the Ursuline defense.
Andrew Frasco, number 80. John DeSantis, number 34, in on the stop for the Irish, forcing the loss and forcing Warren Harding to punt. Isaac Cheney, first punt of the night, went for 44 yards and left the Irish at their own 6. Lacey will let this roll inside the 10 and out again at the 6-yard line. Actually, he'll mark it at the 7, but another picture-perfect punt by Isaac Cheney.
Excellent special teams again shown by Harding. And I'll tell you what, on that punt, Joe Finney was the top guy, and there was no Ursuline Irish player on him. So I don't know if they'll come back with the fake later on in the game or if Ursuline will make the adjustment, but he would be wide open on the fake.
Look at this ball take a hop right out of bounds in between the 6 and 7-yard lines. So the Irish set to start their 3rd offensive possession in the quarter. They opened up the game at the 6. Ursuline's next possession was the 16. Starting field position on this drive, the 7. It's tough to play a Raider defense when you're starting inside your own 10 or inside their own 20 for that matter. Clark out of the gun, runs the draw. Richard Davis in on the stop along with Anthony Hoke for Warren Harding. Also assisting on the tackle, Nate McLeod. Clark, a week ago in the win against Rochester, New York, carried the ball 12 times for 65 yards and ran for 2 touchdowns. So he is a capable runner.
Yeah, and I think that's where Ursuline's going to have to do their damage tonight. I think they're going to have to attack the middle of that Warren Harding defense. I don't think they have the speed, or maybe Warren has too much speed for them to get outside.
A gain out beyond the 13-yard line. So a pickup of 6 on the play. Clark pressured by McLeod, still delivers the pass complete to Walt Lacey. Lacey then grabbed and tackled by Preston Kelson. But Lacey with the grab, his 12th of the season, takes the ball out to his own 29-yard line.
And again, we talked about the quick pass game. That's what they need to do. And here you see it's a quick pass. The entire Ursuline Irish offensive line cut blocking. And one of the problems with that is if you miss your guy, which some of their guys did, the guys, the defensive lines are going to be able to get to your quarterback. But that time, Dale Clark able to get the ball out there to Walt Lacey.
Goes for a gain of 16 and a first down for Ursuline. Still 2 minutes left in the opening quarter. That's Terrell Washington in motion for the Irish. Clark looks over the middle, throws the slant pass intended for Jimmy Hughes. Led a little bit too much, forcing the incompletion.
A little bit. He had 2 guys over there. Both of them seemed to be open, and I think sometimes you try to throw it a little bit too hard. You try to aim it a little bit. I think that's maybe what he did right there, because had he caught that ball, I think he had the middle of the field for him.
Boy, and Clark came in completing just under 58% of his passes this year. Tonight off to a slow start, having completed just 1 of his first 4. Still, Darrell Clark is averaging 183 yards a game through the air this year. He is definitely one of the top athletes in our area this season. Mosley in motion. Clark will roll that way, being pressured by McLeod, escapes 2 Raiders, and now will stumble and fall at the line of scrimmage.
And again, they're not going to have time to run those types of plays. I think they got to run the quick hitters and the runs up the middle, because whenever he rolls out, I mean, Harding's blitzing on every play, and it shows some good escapability there, but there's just too many Harding defenders.
So the scramble leaves Ursuline looking at a 3rd and long from just shy of its own 29-yard line. Still a shade over a minute left here in the opening quarter. Warren Harding scored on its 2nd possession of the night to lead 7-0.
Seems like it's taken a long time to get this play in.
Yeah, there it is. You're exactly right. Here come the flags for delay of the game.
Really, it seems like, I don't know if it seems to you, but it seems tonight that Dale Clark's doing a lot of talking back there to his receivers and to his backs, and I don't know if there's a little bit of confusion about what Harding is doing or if they're having trouble getting the plays in, but they seem out of sync, definitely.
Here's a look at our officiating crew tonight. Jim Gahagan, who you just saw, is our referee. Brian Minahan, the umpire. Tom Sullivan is our linesman. The line judge, Kevin Pouchet. And the back judge is Floyd Crooks. That's the first penalty against either team thus far. And it's a 5-yard infraction for delay of the game against Ursuline. And that moves the Irish back to their own 24-yard line. Allen, the lone setback, tried to get the block. Ball knocked loose and recovered by Andre Boomer of Warren Harding. Darrell Clark had problems that time because the Raiders were in so quickly, he actually ran into James Allen, which forced the fumble.
Yeah, I mean, they're just hitting the gaps, and their linebackers are just shooting in there so quick. They're not able to get in sync. They're not able to do anything they want to be able to do.
It was Richard Davis of Warren Harding who got in there to force the confusion, and then Andre Boomer recovers the fumble, and now Warren threatening, starting from just shy of Ursuline's 15-yard line after recovering the fumble. And this is the 3rd straight possession in which the Raiders have started in Ursuline territory. And movement along the front for Warren Harding. Dante Campbell jumped prematurely, and that'll bring out the penalty flags for illegal procedure.
Yeah, it seemed like Harding was in a little hurry up there. They broke the huddle quickly and ran to the line. I think they were trying to catch Ursuline off guard a little bit and ended up hurting themselves.
So each team has now been penalized once here in the opening quarter. And both teams have picked up 5 yards in infractions. That'll take the ball out just beyond the 20 of Ursuline. There you see it again. Your right tackle jumping prematurely, Dante Campbell. So Alex Ingram out of the gun for Warren. Rooks tries to throw and does to Pete Sparks, but he cannot make the catch. And give the Irish some credit that time for coming off the corner that time. They looked to blitz, and John DeSantis put some early pressure on Ingram.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to need to do. You know, he hasn't really been pressured tonight. He likes to throw that short stuff. We talked about how strong of an arm he has, but they need to start getting some pressure on him to force him into making some bad decisions.
So the ball returns to Ursuline's 20-yard line. Second down now for Warren Harding, and this is a big drive for both teams. I mean, if the Raiders can cash in here before the end of the quarter, they've really assessed themselves and put themselves in the driver's seat to win this one going away. But Ursuline could gain some momentum if it stopped defensively here. Ingram throws inside to Sparks, makes the catch at the 10, runs it down to the 6-yard line. It's a gain of 14 yards. It'll leave the Raiders about a yard shy of the first down marker, and more than likely that's going to be the final play of the opening quarter.
Into the first quarter, moving 7.
Nice play again, no pressure whatsoever. Yeah, that's the big difference between these two offenses tonight, is that Alex Ingram has all the time in the world to pass and is able to find his receivers, look off his receivers, whereas on the other side of the ball it's just not happening.
Well, the Raiders now looking at 3rd and short. And Harding has taken a timeout. So they apparently would like to punch one more in here before the quarter. But Alex Ingram, there you see him with head coach Tom McDaniels, wanting to make sure that nothing goes wrong here on 3rd and short. Ralph, you hate to blow a golden opportunity like this to add points to the board.
Right, this is a big play. I mean, Ursuline's defense has already been on the field a long time this first quarter, and you want to keep them tired, you want to keep pressure on them, and I think that's why we get the timeout.
And again, with the scaled-down version of the Steel Valley Conference this season, a win by Warren Harding would give it the SVC title, having already knocked off Cardinal Mooney. But there's still that likelihood of a 3-way split in the conference should Ursuline rally tonight and then Cardinal Mooney knock off their arch rivals, and everybody would be 1-1 in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, it's odd to talk about the middle of the season already talking about conference championships, and when they're in a situation that the Steel Valley is in, that's the position we're in.
Thank you.
Here's a look at the Irish head coach, Dan Murphy. Murph now in his second year, 11-8 overall, led his team to the playoffs a season ago. And he has definitely opened up the offense behind the likes of Darryl Clark.
3rd down and 1.
So 3rd and short as play gets set to resume. Manningham and Sparks at the top of your screen. Ferguson a wing back to that side. But they'll toss it to Richard Davis. Borghetti giving chase. Davis goes down at the 5 and is very close to the first down marker. It's all a matter of where they spot the ball.
Tackled on the play by number 34, John DeSantis.
And they've spotted it well enough for the Raiders to give them the 1st and goal.
First down.
And there you see Richard Davis coming out of the game. He looks to be a little shaken up after the run.
Yeah, I think he got hurt down on the sidelines on that tackle. You know, it's unfortunate for the Irish. They had a lot of pressure. They knew the sweep was coming. Brian Borghetti tries to get into the backfield. And finally we get the...
And that is the close of the first quarter. So through 1 for Mollenkoff Stadium in Warren, it's the Harding Raiders 7, the Ursuline Irish nothing. We'll return with Warren threatening to add to its lead when we continue with our coverage of the high school football game of the week here on Fox 1762.
Plan now to attend the 17th Annual Ursuline High School Nick Johnson Scholarship Dinner and Hall of Fame Induction, to be held December 3rd at Mr. Anthony's in Boardman. The evening begins at 6:30 and will be hosted by Ursuline graduate and ESPN football analyst Paul McGuire. Guest speaker is Tom Flores, former head coach of the NFL's Oakland Raiders. Proceeds will benefit scholarships for young men and women. For tickets and information, call Ursuline High School at 330-744-4563.
We're the sparkle in your neighborhood, where the food is always fresh.
Want to be voted MVP by your family and friends? Well, it's easy when you team up with Sparkle. Fall's the time for tailgate parties and after-the-game get-togethers. Remember, sandwich rings, meat and cheese, and veggie and dip trays are just a phone call away. And you can always count on baked goods for that extra point.
In your neighborhood, see us shine. In your neighborhood.
In a claim or loss situation, what can a nationwide agent do for you? Get everything back to normal quickly so your life stays in drive. For auto insurance that takes care of you, call your local nationwide agent today.
Okay,
kick off this football season by contacting the Kernan Insurance Agency. We'll pass the savings on to you.
You tell them, Dad.
That 70s show is a fun factory, featuring your favorite superstars.
I'm pretty.
They're fashionable.
Puffy shirt guy called. He wants his puffy shirt back.
They're fantastic. And famous for 15 minutes.
What?
Okay, make that forever.
Thank you! Rock and roll!
From soup to nuts, now that 70s show lasts all week long.
That 70s show, Monday night at 6 on Fox 1762.
Your local Fox station is Fox 1762.
We've got the most local sports in the Valley.
And the only local 10 o'clock news.
Local racing and high school basketball.
Plus high school football and the YSU Game of the Week.
Not just the highlights, we've got the whole game. Local sports on your Fox station.
And local news 1 hour before the rest. First news at 10 on Fox 1762.
So as the second quarter gets set to go, Warren Harding with a first and goal. Richard Davis back in the game, back in the end zone. Touchdown Raiders. Richard Davis left at the end of the first quarter, a little shaken up, returns to start the second period, and has his second rushing touchdown of the night. It's his 12th of the season, and the Raiders have extended the lead to 13-0.
Yeah, give credit to the offensive line on that one. Lonnie McDonald and Dante Campbell both put their guys on the ground, making it somewhat easy for him to get in the end zone.
Joe Spain back on for the extra point. He's hit all 23 of his PATs this season. Again, out of the hold of Pete Sparks. Spain's got another one. So just a few seconds having come off the clock here in the second quarter. Warren Harding now leading Ursuline 14-7. We'll come back with the Irish possession offensively. See if they can rally when we continue with the high school football game of the week on Fox 1762.
This quarter of the Fox 1762 High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you by Westminster College.
Picture yourself at Westminster College. Westminster offers an educational experience that is second to none. We've been exceeding students' expectations for 150 years. Westminster combines the prestige of a national liberal arts college with the personal attention you deserve. Westminster is a national leader in graduation rate performance and is the most affordable national liberal arts college in Pennsylvania. Visit Westminster's beautiful 300-acre campus to experience an ideal learning environment. Succeed at Westminster College.
Want to get away for a day or two but don't feel like driving? Call Transit Tours and ride in comfort in one of their state-of-the-art motor coaches. If you love to gamble, Transit Tours has trips to many popular casinos, including Greektown every Monday, Seneca Niagara on Tuesday, and Mountaineer Park every Wednesday. Other destinations include the Carousel Dinner Theater, Sugar Creek, and Atlantic City. Whether if it's for 1 day, 2 days, or even longer, call Transit Tours for all your charter needs. 330-755-0770.
Save up to $7,500 on a new Oldsmobile Bravada at Columbiana Buick Olds Cadillac Chevrolet, where a new Bravada starts at $27,962. Oldsmobiles are backed by the GM commitment, a 5-year, 60,000-mile protection plan, or cash alternative, with continued availability of parts and service. Where will you find the best selection of General Motors' finest cars, trucks, and SUVs? At Ohio's largest, Columbiana Buick Olds Cadillac Chevrolet.
How do you define commitment? Making something stronger? Making something better? At Key, we believe in both by working with the businesses and people in our communities to make positive changes where we live. From offering financial education programs to providing financial resources, we work hard to make a difference because we know that helping others reach their goals is part of realizing our own. Key. Achieve anything.
Hey, Ohio State University fans! Follow the defending national champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes, in the Valley's #1 newspaper for up-close and personal coverage of the nation's top college team. The Vindicator will be on the scene for every OSU home and away game, bringing you game details, previews, profiles, interviews, stats, and coverage of Coach Tressel's weekly news conference. Follow the Buckeyes all season long in the Vindicator. This week, the Buckeyes take on Northwestern University. Get the complete story in the Vindicator.
So So Warren Harding capitalizes on the game's first turnover. Andre Boomer recovered a fumble, and the Raiders turn it into 7 points. They move 15 yards in 4 plays. Richard Davis going in from 4 yards out. So Ralph, Warren Harding has scored on a 29-yard drive and a 15-yard drive. You can't give a team as talented as the Raiders that type of starting field position.
Yeah, they're talented in they're dominating on special teams, dominating defense and on offense.
Flaminio's kickoff will be footed by Lacey at the 9. Finds a gap along the sideline and now cuts across the grain and runs into his own man, Brad Turnbull. And Walt Lacey goes down at the 24. You know, it's almost as if you have to hit Warren Harding quickly. They had trailed in each of the last 2 games only to rally for a victory, because as the game goes on, that Raiders blood D gets difficult and a little bit harder to work against, because so far this year, including the 7 points here in the second quarter tonight, Warren Harding has outscored the opposition through 5.5 games now, 66-3.
Yeah, once they get a little bit of momentum and see that they can take advantage of certain things on the field, I think they just, they jump on that, and it's a, it's a tough train to stop.
Boy, and what makes it even more difficult is the Irish also guilty of a penalty on the return, and now they will start from the 14-yard line. So for the 4th consecutive possession, Ursuline will start offensively inside its own 20. And for an offense which likes to spread out the field, that's a difficult place to start a drive. So from the 14, Darrell Clark out of the gun. Allen goes in motion. Clark throws, finds his man Derek Stewart. Stewart with good speed. He's got a convoy, and he's out of bounds at the 45, or actually the 44-yard line. Derek Stewart, who came in with 16 pass receptions this season, and 3 of them going for touchdowns, shows why he is Darrell Clark's favorite target.
Yeah, they do a nice job, Ursuline, spreading the field. They had trips to one side, slot to the other. It's just a simple crossing route. He's able to lose the linebacker underneath and make a nice move and go down the sidelines. And again, those are the type of plays that Ursuline needs to take advantage of, where if you spread the field out, you can't go deep, all right, but you got to be able to hit these, 5 to 10 yarders and hope your receivers are able to turn them into something big.
Stewart's first catch of the night goes for 30 yards and a first down for Ursuline. From its 44, give to Terrell Washington, hit by Jante Stroud and knocked down at the 49-yard line. Washington averaging 7 yards a carry this season, limited to 5 this time around.
You see Ursuline Irish line blocking a little bit better there. Number 76, Brandon Baxter, had his guy down on the 30-yard line. That's any indication how dominating he has been. But that's what I think they need to do. Throw the short passes, attack the middle, and see if Harding can stop that.
Second down now from Ursuline's 49-yard line. Again from the gun. Stroud giving chase. Clark delivers through the hands of Byron Mosley. And now a penalty flag back in the backfield. Darrell Clark picking himself up off the turf late, and then we may have a roughing the passer call here.
Yeah, it's definitely the area that it's in. You see him holding his shoulder, and that's not a very good sign. But if Ursuline's going to be competitive tonight, if they're going to stay in this ball game, they have to make those plays. Byron Mosley, that's I would imagine a catchable ball that he needs to take advantage of.
So the personal foul against Harding will give the Irish a first down and move them into Raider territory. Inside of 11 minutes left here in the half. Ursuline's deepest penetration of the game so far. After the 15-yard mark-off, they have the ball at the Warren 36.
Give Darrell Clark credit. He's not coming off the field. He's toughing it out. Didn't even go down on one knee, because had he done it, he'd have to come out of the game for one play. But staying in there, playing strong.
This time around, though, he's flanked by both Washington and Allen in the backfield. Pressure by Hoke. Clark delivers, finds Jerome Jones. The sophomore makes the grab. Tackled on the play by Joe Finnessy at the 29.
And again, you can just tell that Darrell Clark is not healthy. After this play, again, he's grabbing his arm. He took a little shot after this play. You can see it. But again, nice time. Definitely had time to throw on that one. We talked about him not having time. He did on that one. And able to get it to Jerome Jones for a nice gain.
Pickup of 7 yards. Second and short now for the Irish. Give to Terrell Washington. Hit by Ben Elser and driven into the ground at the 26-yard line, very close to the first down marker.
I'll tell you what, even though it's a running play, Daryl Clark just took another shot from Anthony Hoke. He's live game when he fakes like he has the ball, and Anthony Hoke just pounded him into the ground. He's not going to be able to last the whole game if he keeps taking these shots.
Well, I'm sure, Harding's defensive game plan was tonight to get an X amount of hits on the quarterback, Daryl Clark, because he is the man that makes that Irish offense go.
Yeah, exactly right. When we see them line up at the line of scrimmage right before the play, and you look at the setup, every one of the Harding defenders is within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. That goes for their safety, it goes for, the defensive halfbacks, the linebackers, everyone's packed in that box.
Now Washington's run got just enough yardage to move the chains. Ursuline's second rushing first down of the night, their 5th overall. So each team now with 5 first downs in the game.
It's kind of surprising. You would think that it would be a relatively even game, being 5 and 5 on the first downs, but it's definitely not been the case so far.
So Ursuline with its first offensive threat of the night from the Harding 26. Mosley in motion. Clark on the keeper. Phil McNeil in there to make sure he loses yardage. And that play never got started because of the Raiders' penetration off the front.
Yeah, when you're getting that much penetration, your linebackers, your D tackles are getting in there. Those play fakes don't work because everyone's in there so quickly. You don't have time to look for the ball. You just, find the quarterback and get him.
The loss back to the 31 is a loss of 5. There's a good look at McNeil, the 6', 304-pound senior. He makes the stop for the Raiders. Clark through the air, 3 of 7 tonight for 53 yards. He'll throw again, and this time goes complete and finds Derek Stewart, who then gets out of bounds at the Warren 18-yard line. So a gain of 13 yards. Stewart upset with himself because he's short of the first down.
Yeah, but isn't it a pretty common theme that we're seeing tonight? When Daryl Clark has time to pass, he's able to make completions. And when he doesn't, bad things happen.
Now Clark has completed his last 3 attempts. And he now has Ursuline inside Warren's 20-yard line. Borghetti in motion. Give to Allen. First down yardage as he squirts through the Raider defense. Finally pulled to the ground by Roger Matlock at the 5, but a nice run that time around for James Allen of Ursuline.
Yeah, with all the hand signals Daryl Clark was doing as receivers, I think, the Harding defense may have thought this was going to be a pass, but instead it's a quick hitter up the middle. James Allen does a nice job getting through the line of scrimmage and almost sneaks into the end zone.
Now Ursuline, with a score here, would be right back in the game and would regain some confidence.
And this has been quite a drive. I know it was helped by a penalty, but they started deep in their own territory to move the ball.
Now it's first and goal for the Irish after Allen runs 13 yards. Then Clark drops the snap from center, goes to one knee to pick it up, and that'll create a dead ball situation. So they'll put the ball right back to 5.
That's unfortunate. You have a good drive going, and a little mistake between the quarterback and the center exchange, really essentially cost you a down.
9th play of the drive coming up for Ursuline. And there's a look at, appears as if Clark just kind of pulled away from his center Juan Vega prematurely on that. And Ursuline, which started at its own 14, now has the ball at the Raider 5. Give to Washington, trying to get to the corner. Can he get there? Yes, touchdown Ursuline. Terrell Washington's 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. He was able to outrun Roger Matlock to the corner, and now the Irish an extra point away from cutting its deficit in half.
Yeah, you really got to give credit to the Irish. They could have been down, they could have quit a little bit, but they come back here, march it down the field, and score a touchdown.
There's a good look at the senior, who also doubles defensively as a cornerback. Extra point to be attempted by Rafael Lima out of the hold of John DeSantis. And penalty flags down. Just over 8 minutes remaining in the first half. And a key drive by the Irish has gotten Ursuline back in the game. The penalty here against Warren Harding for encroachment. That'll move the ball half the distance to the goal line. Do you still go for one?
Yeah, I think you do. You know, you've been struggling offensively tonight. You just got a good drive going. I don't think you want to mess up a good thing.
Now, guess what?
Yeah. So much for that, huh?
Coach Murphy's going to go for 2. They've moved the ball to about 1.5 yards away from the goal line. And now Ursuline will opt for the 2-point conversion attempt. This could set the tone, too, because after that, now you're playing catch-up with any extra points. James Allen runs into the middle of the Raider line, and he's not going to find the goal line. So Harding stops the 2-point try, and Ralph, I think early in the game, you may be right. Of course, hindsight's always 20/20.
Right.
But Ursuline still manages to get on the board. We'll step aside. It's Warren Harding 14, Ursuline 6. We'll return with more of our high school football game of the week here on Fox 1762.
The sparkle in your neighborhood, where the food is always fresh.
One thing I love about Sparkle, they're big enough to have everything I need and want, but not so big I need running shoes just to get around the store. I know I save time, and I always save money at Sparkle. Who couldn't use more of both? So shop at Sparkle and leave your running shoes at the gym where they belong.
In your neighborhood, see us shine. In your neighborhood.
The first annual Ursuline High School Auction, Celebrate Our Legacy, will take place Friday, October 24th at 5:30 p.m. at Mr. Anthony's. The event includes a formal buffet, 4 silent auction tables, and an exciting oral auction. Auction items include gift baskets, jewelry, Waterford Crystal, golf getaways, vacation packages, and Nanette Laporte clothing that was featured on Sex and the City. Proceeds benefit Ursuline students. For tickets and information, call Ursuline High School at 330-744-4563.
You can do it all in one stop when you visit Summerfield Appliance in Vienna. Quality name brands you've come to trust, backed by professional and courteous sales and service. While you're there, tour one of Right Choice Home Remodeler's unique kitchen displays. See why they're the best choice for your new kitchen or bath. All wood name brand cabinetry, ceramics, and flooring. Make it easy. One stop is all you need. Summerfield's Appliance and Right Choice Home Remodelers. Route 193, Vienna.
Bobby's flunking out. An F in English? And Peggy's stepping in.
An A!
Heather Locklear guest stars.
You have to tell me how you came up with that opening line.
Well,
On the next King of the Hill.
Monday at 5 on Fox 1762.
Springfield hosts a roast.
you weren't in dress rehearsal, so you're not in the show.
And the guest of honor, Homer Simpson.
Proceeds going to charity?
Hell no.
The Simpsons.
Monday night at 7 on Fox 1762.
Saturday, October 4th, YSU battles Southwest Missouri State.
27 First News and Fox 1762 invite you to cheer the Penguins to victory.
Fans get a free Penny the Penguin bobblehead doll. Stop by your local Burger King for a buy one, get one free ticket offer. Get to the game early and check out the world's largest tailgate grill. Stay late for post-game Phantom fireworks.
Call for tickets today.
Catch hard-hitting Penguin football with Fox 1762 and 27 First News.
There's a look at Ursuline's head coach Dan Murphy. His team, though, on the board. The offense for Ursuline drives 86 yards in 9 plays. Terrell Washington taking it the rest of the way for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. The try for 2 fails. And now Ursuline on a squib, which is picked up by Jante Stroud. And Stroud's got himself a seam. Finally pushed out of bounds by James Allen of the Irish. But Warren Harding back in Ursuline territory to start another drive.
Yeah, the squib kick to try to kill it to avoid the big return kind of backfires. As a couple players try to give the ball, Jante Stroud gets it, just uses that speed to get up the sideline. So you hope to get your opponent around the 30, but just not that 30.
So now Harding will begin at the Ursuline 35-yard line. There's a good look at the guy that returned the kickoff for Warren. Raiders defense yielding its first touchdown in the second quarter this year, and now the offense trying to respond. Delbert Ferguson, the lone setback. Alex Ingram goes up under center this time around and gives to Ferguson. Chopped down at the 35, no gain on the play. John DeSantis in on the stop. So far, Ferguson has carried the ball 3 times for no yardage.
You know that Ursuline Irish defense got to take pride in that. Even though they're down in the game, they're winning that little individual battle that exists in this game. But Ferguson is going to get his carries, get his yards eventually. Maybe he's just trying to do a little bit too much at this point.
Coming in, Ferguson had carried the ball 37 times through the first half of the season for 215 yards. His best effort a week ago at St. Ed's when he carried the ball 21 times for 75 yards and a score. Ingram fakes to Ferguson and keeps it himself. Stays on his feet long enough to get it down close to the 25-yard line. He will not get the first down, however. For Ursuline, Bryant Youngblood made sure that Ingram went out of play.
And again, when your quarterback has time and space, you're able to run those little play fakes. You're able to run a little bit of misdirection because the defense is able to see where the ball is or isn't going. And Alex Ingram does a nice job getting around the end.
So it is 3rd and short now for the Raiders. Ball just shy of Ursuline's 25-yard line. And Richard Davis not in the backfield. We saw him shaken up at the close of the first quarter. Ferguson moves to tailback, and he'll take the football. Has the first down to the 20-yard line. Stopped on the play by Joe Underwood. And it's a gain of just over 5 and a first down for Warren.
Here you see the handoff to Delbert Ferguson, just running inside the tackle, able to use his speed and power to make a nice gain.
So the ball inside Ursuline's 20-yard line. Inside of 7 minutes left in the half. Warren Harding looking to regain a 2-touchdown advantage. Ferguson to the 16-yard line and driven back. Juan Vega in on the stop for the Irish. Assisted on the play by Brad Turnbull.
Again, we talked about the advantage Harding has with 2 good running backs. Here you see Richard Davis not in the game. We don't know if he's shaken up a little bit from the earlier play, but you're able to come back with Delbert Ferguson and, with that offensive line that they have, able to, bully the ball downfield.
From the 16 of the Irish, 2nd down for Harding. We have not heard of Mario Manningham much tonight. And out of the gun, you have to wonder if Ingram will look his way. Instead, he'll dump it off to Delbert Ferguson. He'll go down inside the 15, tackled by Brad Turnbull. Stopped right around the 14-yard line. A minimal gain on the swing pass. And there's a look at a couple of teammates kind of getting caught up on old times, Turnbull and Ferguson. So 3rd down now for the Raiders. And they will take a timeout. They have just 1 left now in the half. Well, coming in, we had talked about Warren Harding unbeaten through the first 5 weeks of the season. They've also got 1 win in the conference. The Raiders opened up with easy wins against Cleveland South and Cleveland Kennedy. It got a lot more difficult when Backstrom Buchtel came to town, yet the Raiders were able to dispose of the Griffins, and then they had to rally and hold off Cardinal Mooney in week 4 and rally again last week to edge Lakewood St. Ed's in overtime, 27-20. Things for Warren Harding will get a lot more difficult as the season progresses as well, but so far ranked number 2 in the state in the AP. Michigan School and New York School is 6 weeks.
And you got to go find games like some of the parochial schools have to do. You end up playing all over the place.
So again, the Irish defense being tested. Harding tonight, 2 of 5 on 3rd down opportunities. Ingram will step up, now release the pass to Manningham. Sidesteps one guy at the 5 and gets in. Touchdown Raiders. Mario Mai. That kid is absolutely amazing to watch play football.
Yeah, we said he hasn't touched the ball tonight, and one time he touches it, it goes into the end zone. And I'll tell you what, it's pure athleticism that gets it there. Makes some nice moves. But again, give credit to the Harding offensive line because Alex Ingram had at least 10 seconds to pass that ball.
For Ingram, his 8th touchdown pass of the season. It's the 5th time that he has gone to Manningham for a score. 15-yard touchdown pass caps off the drive with just over 5:20 left here in the second quarter. And Spain on for the 3rd time tonight now. And he's perfect once again. 5:21 left in the period. The Raiders move 35 yards in 6 plays. 15-yard pass from Ingram to Manningham, and watch the athleticism of the young Raider.
Delbert Ferguson does a nice job as a running back coming up, giving him some pass protection. Mario Manningham catches it out in the flats around the 10, and it's just all his doing to get it in the end zone.
And Warren Harding, just like that, answers the Irish touchdown with one of their own. And now the Raiders have opened up a 21-6 advantage.
And again, that was an important possession for Harding. You know, all possessions are important, but you know, to get scored upon and then come back and get it right back, clearly a big possession for him.
And there's a good look at number 1. John Flaminio will put the ball in play once again for the Raiders. Walt Lacey deep, along with Terrell Washington. So Warren Harding's touchdown drives tonight, 35 yards, 29 yards, and 15 yards.
Yeah, not that those are easy yards, but it's pretty impressive starting on that side of the field. You know, make it easy for you.
Lacey will return this kickoff from his own 16. Out over the 30 to the 31-yard line. Lacey tackled on the play by Sean Peterman and Chaz Johnson. So Ursuline, which came into the game averaging 28 points a game, will once again have its back to the wall.
At least they're outside their own 20 now, have a little, you know, room to operate, could run the plays that they want to play, that they want to run, and right off the bat we see them spreading the field.
Yeah, it's their best starting field position of any drive tonight. The Irish beginning right around their own 32. Plenty of time and 3 timeouts remaining. Davis back in the game defensively. He will get to Darrell Clark at the 22-yard line. So Davis, not needed on the offensive end, but they need his presence defensively. We've seen him come off the end before, and this time he gets credit for the sack.
Yeah, Richard Davis comes right off the end, untouched, and able to hit Darrell Clark right in his blind side. And that good field position just turned into maybe not so good field position.
Boy, because the beanbag was kind of thrown ahead of where the tackle took place and bounced, they'll give the Irish the ball to 24, which is a generous spot.
Yeah, very
and only
generous.
a loss of 8. Still 2nd and long, though, for the Irish. Again, Davis off the corner. This time the pass deflected by Finnessy and drops to the ground. That little quick in that time nearly worked against Ursuline.
Yeah, that's, you know, that's what they like to do, you know, the quick stuff that's successful. And keep an eye on the receivers as they're set up. I think the last 2 plays, I think we had some motion from the wide receivers, and I think the Warren coaches are a little bit upset about it. And again, here you see the quick pass, and once it gets tipped, it's anybody's ball.
Intended for Walt Lacey. Finnessy had it ricochet off his shoulder. Unfortunately for Ursuline, it's an incompletion, so the Irish will retain possession, but it's 3rd and long from the 24. Allen in motion out of the backfield. Davis again comes free off the corner. Grabs Clark, who then delivers the pass. And what will they rule? Incomplete. They will allow Clark to make the pass. It's incomplete. But if the Irish do not address this problem offensively, Warren Harding's going to have a field day on defense.
Yeah, I mean, this is the 3rd time they've seen it. Nobody there. He just comes straight off the corner and gets to the quarterback. And how that's not intentional grounding, I really don't know. But they're going to be forced to punt.
So the ball returns to the 24. No penalty, no sack. Butler, 3rd punt of the night. He's been averaging 30 through his first 2. This one grabbed by Thaddeus Walker. Trying to find some room, unable to do so. Tackle on the play by John DeSantis. Yet Warren Harding will have great field position from its own 49. Well, Ursuline's head coach Dan Murphy talks about playing the likes of a Warren Harding each year.
it's hard to find a weakness on them. It really is. I mean, they do things so well, and they're very deep in a lot of spots. They have a good football team, and you know, they find ways to win. They're a lot like Ohio State. You know, people say, you know, they didn't look good against here or there, so-and-so, but they're still winning. You know, they're doing all the right things they have to win, and that says a lot about them.
Delbert Ferguson's first down carry here runs the ball into Ursuline territory to the Irish 45. A gain of 6.
Yeah, I think you see Delbert Ferguson. He got a lot of carries there on the last drive, getting the first carry on this drive. Starting to build up a little momentum, starting to get in the groove a little bit.
And I think also Warren Harding feels if Richard Davis is nicked up, let's leave him play on defense solely. We've got Ferguson we can ride offensively.
Yeah, because certainly on defense he's not being touched, so that's, you know, that's where you want to keep him.
Just over 3 minutes remaining in the half. Warren Harding has scored twice here in the quarter. They lead 21-6 over Ursuline. Ingram straight drop. They'll set up the screen to Davis, who then dropped it on his own side of the 50. So just as we talked about maybe Richard Davis not being used offensively, Tom McDaniel sneaks him into the game, but unable to utilize the play.
Yeah, they set up the screen perfectly. You know, you let the defenders go, have the running back sneak behind him, and just unable to come up with it. I think it's a big play there if he catches it as well.
Now it's third down from Ursuline's 45-yard line. Ferguson this time exits the game. Richard Davis is back in as the lone back alongside of Alex Ingram. Straight drop off the gun. Ingram directing traffic, runs, first down yardage inside the 40 to the 38-yard line, a gain of 7 by the Raiders quarterback.
You know what? Even though he picks up the first down, you know, the Ursuline defensive backs have really done a good job tonight. We talked about Mario Manningham not having a huge game so far. He only has 1 reception, but he looks downfield for quite a long time. There's absolutely nobody open. So the D-backs from Ursuline doing a nice job, but then, you know, Alex Ingram just has, you know, lets his athleticism get him the first down.
You know, the Raiders averaging almost 190 yards a game on the ground this season. Have scored 2 of their 3 touchdowns on the ground tonight, courtesy of Richard Davis. From the 38 and out of the gun. Give to Davis. Finds running room to the 23-yard line. Davis tackled on the play by Bryant Youngblood.
Yeah, didn't look nicked up on that play as well. Front handoff over the right side. Great job on the offensive line, making a huge hole for him. Then he gets into the secondary, and you know that's what they've been doing all night. You know, pounding it, coming with the pass. You know, they're mixing it up really well.
The gain by Davis, good for 16 yards to the 22. He has 38 yards rushing overall tonight on a half dozen carries. This is Ferguson, though, down to the 17-yard line. DeSantis, Vega, Turnbull, all in on the stop for Ursuline's defense.
It's kind of like a game of cat and mouse that's going on. You know, Harding will run the ball, make Ursuline make an adjustment, then they throw the ball and catch him.
So a gain of 3 on the run by Ferguson. Ball just inside the Irish 18-yard line. Backs offset behind Ingram. Toss to Davis. Tackled in the backfield by Joe Underwood. That'll result in a loss.
Great job by Joe Underwood, staying home, you know, looking at his target, able to stay there, not getting shook off. It's a simple one-on-one move. And he's able to come up with a big tackle, and that's a big play for a sophomore.
Results in a loss of 1. Third down for Harding, now from the Irish 19. Inside of 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Manningham and Hoke at the top of the screen. Ingram will look that way. Wants number 1, but tries to deliver it to number 12, and the pass is short of Anthony Hoke and incomplete.
Yeah, Alex Ingram really didn't have anything there. Just kind of threw as hard as he could, hoping something would happen. And probably the best thing that could have happened there.
So the Irish stop Warren Harding inside the 20, and they have now forced the Raiders to attempt a field goal. Joe Spain will attempt a 36-yard field goal. He hit a 30-yarder earlier this season against Cleveland JFK. Pete Sparks will be the holder. This with less than a minute to go in the half. The distance is there, and so is the accuracy. Joe Spain nails the 36-yard field goal, and Warren Harding has increased its lead to 24-6 over Ursuline. And boy, special teams have really been in Warren Harding's favor here tonight.
Yeah, the special teams have set up great field position all night, and now special teams come through with the long field goal. And there you see it, plenty of distance and right down the middle.
So Joe Spain not only perfect this season on extra points, but he's able to hit the 3-ball as well. And the Raiders move 32 yards in 8 plays before the 36-yard field goal comes about.
It seemed like a couple minutes ago we were talking about a 14-6 game, and then just like that, it's 24-6.
Easy to see why the Raiders are averaging just under 40 points a game this season. They have that ability to score quickly on you.
Halftime score.
So we have just 49 seconds left in the half. Ursuline with 3 timeouts remaining, and I'm sure they'd like to get something on the board before the close of the half.
I think a key will be what kind of field position they get right here on the kickoff.
Number 36, John Flaminio.
So Flaminio set to put the ball in play. Walt Lacey from the 9. They'll return it out to the 18-yard line, and that's about it. So again, poor field position for Ursuline. They'll start inside the 20 once again.
And give credit to Flaminio. Those kickoffs are deep, and they're so high that the Harding defenders, the Harding special teams gets down there so quick anyways that he catches it, Lacey catches it, and is able to take 2 or 3 steps, and then there's people everywhere.
45 seconds left in the half. I would imagine we'll see what Ursuline's plan will be on this very first play. From the 18, Clark out of the gun. Flanked by Allen and Washington. They'll go to the ground. James Allen. Tackled on the play by Deshaun Robinson at the 30-yard line. And a gain of 12 for a first down.
Halftime score, Allen 32, Salem 6.
That'll stop the clock, too, as they move the chains.
That's good. I'm glad Coach Murphy is making an effort, not just sitting on the ball, because I think you send a message to your kids that, hey, we're not out of this ball game. We're going to try to score to the last second.
Now, Allen's last 2 runs have gone for a total of 25 yards. And he'll carry the ball again, except this time Jante Stroud has him. And Anthony Hoke, along with Andre Boomer, finish him off. So Allen dropped at the 28-yard line for a loss of nearly 2.
Back on the play, number 13, Jante Stroud.
And now I would imagine the Irish will not stop the clock here.
Yeah, they took their chance. I'm surprised maybe they didn't throw one deep. But again, we talked about how explosive Harding is. You make one mistake, Harding could come back and score again. So.
And that is the end of the first half from Mollenkoff Stadium, with Warren Harding leading Ursuline through 2 quarters. At half, it's the Harding Raiders 24, the Ursuline Irish 6. We'll come back with our Band of the Week, and we'll also have our look around the rest of the game through our halftime statistics. You're watching the High School Football Game of the Week on Fox 1762.
We get that poor field position again taking a role in probably the play calling.
And they have now taken Washington out of the backfield. It's James Allen, and he'll take the handoff for Ursuline. Anthony Hoke grabs him by the jersey and pulls him down at the line of scrimmage. Allen in the first half had 5 carries for 22 yards. His first carry of the second half results in no gain.
Yeah, we were talking about Anthony Hoke earlier. We're down on the field before the game, and just what a physical specimen he is. The size and speed that he possessed, goes a long way in making plays like that.
6'1", 226. One of the top defensive leads the team. Second and long now for Ursuline from its own 15. Clark sails one complete to Derek Stewart and then hops out of play right beyond the 23-yard line. Gain on the play of just over 8 yards.
It's a pretty dangerous pass there. Daryl Clark almost on the other hash mark, thrown all the way across the field. And those are the kind of passes that you see picked off in return for touchdowns, but able to do a nice job completing it to Derek Stewart.
For Stewart, his third grab of the night. He now has 52 yards in receptions.
Third down and 6. The ball.
This game takes it out just beyond the 23-yard line of Ursuline. So the Irish facing a third down here. Again, in the first half, they were 3 of 7 on third down opportunities. Mosley in motion to the bottom of your screen. Low snap scooped up by Clark. In trouble. Steps up. Breaks away from Jante Stroud, but cannot get away from Ben Elser. And Elser drops the Irish quarterback at the 22 for a loss of about 1.5 yards.
You know, it still seems to me that Daryl Clark at the line of scrimmage, you know, it doesn't help that he had a bad snap on that play and was had to bend down all the way to the ground to get it. Still seems like there's a little bit of confusion about what he wants the receivers to do. And clearly there's some confusion on the offensive line as far as blitz pickup.
So John Butler into punt. First half for Butler, 3 punts, his longest of which was 32 yards. And Mario Manningham makes the catch of a punt in Irish territory at the 43-yard line. Still over 10 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Warren Harding will come out offensively for the first time here in the period. And again, great starting field position for the Raiders.
Yeah, all night, you know, they're so explosive, you don't need any help, and Ursuline's giving them plenty of it by the field position battle. It'll be interesting to see, you know, we talked at halftime, if Mario Manningham, we want to get him more involved, and it'll be interesting to see if we go to him early.
Well, the Raiders started 4 offensive drives in the first half in Irish territory. And they start here at Ursuline's 43. The Irish defense solid on that play as Delbert Ferguson takes the handoff and can't do much more than gain a yard. Ferguson in the first half, 7 carries, 17 yards.
There's really just nowhere for Delbert Ferguson to go. You know he wants to make an impact on this game to show his former teammates, you know, but really nothing there.
Andrew Edmonds led the defensive entourage that time for Ursuline. Second down from the Irish 42. Ingram off the play fake. Slips, regains his balance, throws it deep for Pete Sparks, but it's going to be intercepted. And then Bryant Youngblood will take the ball into the end zone for a touchback. So Alex Ingram throws his first interception of the season as he tried to go deep to Pete Sparks.
Yeah, it just seems like he threw it up there for grabs. And give credit to Brian Youngblood, who almost looked like the receiver on this play. He followed it all the way down from his middle safety position, able to catch that ball and give Ursuline a break here.
So that is the 6th pass intercepted this season by the Irish, the first by Bryant Youngblood. And now we'll see if the Irish can capitalize. So these two teams came into the game. Ironically, both teams were even in the turnover ratio. Warren Harding had given the ball away 8 times, had taken away 8 times. The Irish, same thing. 8 takes, 8 gives. Both teams have given it away once and taken it away once. Daryl Clark's first pass on this series, incomplete. Inside of 10 minutes left in the third quarter. The Irish facing a second down from their own 20. Clark has thrown for 75 yards here tonight. Last week against Rochester, New York, he threw for 149 yards and a touchdown. They try to set up the screen to Terrell Washington. But a nice job defensively by the Raiders to make sure he goes no further than the 23-yard line. And the tackle registered by Ben Elser.
Yeah, give credit to Ben Elser for staying home. A lot of the D linemen went chasing after Daryl Clark and to set up the screen nicely, but Ben Elser stayed home and able to, you know, put a stop to it before it was too big of a gain.
So third down for Ursuline. That's Terrell Washington coming out of the game. James Allen, the lone setback, along with Darrell Clark in the backfield. Allen stays the block. Clark has time, throws complete to Derek Stewart, grabbed and tackled by Joe Finnessy at the 41-yard line, and that time Clark had time to throw, and that's what that young man's capable to do, Ralph, and you talked about that before.
Right, give him time, he does a nice job, and it's the same route that they had success with before. You know, they go slot up top and bring the middle guy, bring the short guy right across the middle, and you know, that's where they've had success.
A gain of 18 yards, and the Irish now have the ball out to their own 41-yard line. Inside of 9 minutes left here in the third quarter. Give to Washington. Elser comes up from his linebacker spot to make the tackle, stopping Washington after a gain of only 1.
Ken Elser making another big play. You know, the middle of the field is pretty wide open if he doesn't step up and make that play, but as a linebacker, you're taught to sit in there, read the ball, and does a real nice job.
Elser earlier this year was a Steel Valley Conference Player of the Week winner in the victory against Cardinal Mooney. Second and long now for the Irish from the 42. Allen with Hope giving chase from behind. Runs over Elser. Hope then finally runs down James Allen and stops him after a minimal gain.
James Allen showing a heck of a stiff arm there, pushing Ben Elser to the ground, which is not an easy task, but still, you see that speed of the Harding defense, able to get up there and keep him to a little gain. They see him get the front handoff again, goes around here, you're going to see the nice stiff arm, able to push him down, but again, just too much pursuit.
And a flag as well, right there you see at the tail end of the play, a face mask penalty against Warren Harding. So the flag at the end of the run will be a 5-yard walk-off. And that'll take the ball out to the 48-yard line of Ursuline. Second down now. That penalty against Harding. Their 4th of the night. They've totaled 27 yards in infractions, and now the Irish will take a timeout. 7:48 to go in the third quarter. We'll step aside. It's Warren Harding 24, Ursuline 6. You're watching the high school football game of the week on Fox 1762.
This quarter of the Fox 1762 high school football game of the week is brought to you by McDonald's.
Imagine yourself in a place that brings together the most interesting people.
Alternative with continued availability.
As a YSU student, it was so nice to have an ASCCU office right here on campus. I could withdraw money anytime I needed it and take care of all my other financial needs. Now that I've graduated from YSU, I can still belong to ASCCU and continue to take advantage of their great services.
Stop by one of ASCCU's 3 convenient locations in Austintown, Boardman, and on the YSU campus. You'll see why the Associated School Employees Credit Union is the best place to save and the only place to borrow.
Kicks. Dig.
It's awfully hot in here.
Becker. I know you're attracted to me.
Ew.
He's smooth and sophisticated. Listen to me. Follow my lead.
I had a sex change operation.
Holy crap.
Someone has been working out.
Becker, watch him operate 5 nights a week.
Monday night at 10:30 on Fox 1762 WIFX.
There's a look at the flags here at Mollenkoff Stadium and the wind, which right now is at the back of the Raiders' defense. So Ursuline faced with a second down situation moving into the brisk wind here. They'll go to the ground. James Allen getting through the initial wave of tacklers and does his best just to gain a yard on the play to the 49. And Ralph, it's amazing how quickly Warren Harding's front 5, and that includes a linebacker, into the backfield.
Right, that's a 2-yard run, and it was a great run. I mean, there's defenders everywhere, and he's able to just turn it upfield because really, they say speed kills, and it's so obvious tonight, especially on this Harding defense.
So 3rd and short now for the Irish. Ursuline has the ball just shy of the midfield stripe. Washington and Turnbull. The split backs behind Clark, who goes under center. Movement on the offensive front. Give to Washington. Hit initially by Roger Matlock, and that'll result in no gain. And I don't see a flag, but boy, it sure looks like the Irish got off the line very quickly, and maybe a smidge before the snap of the ball.
Yeah, it didn't matter. You think if they get off the ball, first they'd able to drive Harding defenders back, and there it is. But again, not called, so it doesn't count, and it'll be interesting to see here what Ursuline does.
Sure looked as if the left tackle, Juan Vega, moved a little early. But now the Ursuline Irish face with 4th down from their own 49, and they will go for it. A gutsy call here in the 3rd quarter, even though the Irish trail 24-6. Allen might not have it. He lunges into the line and got to midfield, and he won't have it. The spot of the ball will be at the 50. He needed to take it into Warren territory, and Ursuline's going to turn the ball over on downs.
Yeah, with Harding knowing the run, they're stacked in the box. It's just a tough play to make. Gain any yards on a Harding defense. When they know you only need one, they're able to, stack the box with their defenders and get the ball back to their offense.
Is that a move because you're trailing by 18 points and you realize that you're not going to have too many opportunities against the Raiders' defense to score?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you had 1 yard to go. You got to take your shot. I mean, you give Harding the ball at the 10, they'll go 90 yards. You give them the 50, they're going to go 50. So you might as well take your shots.
So indeed, the Raiders will start at midfield. So the defense forces Ursuline to turn the ball over on downs. Give to Ferguson, trying to get to the outside. Flag is down. You'll have a hold in the backfield on Lonnie McDonald of the Raiders. In the meantime, Ferguson goes down with a loss of 3.
Walt Lacey does a real nice job coming after the defensive back spot, coming up to tackle his former teammate. That flag then is going to push the Raiders back.
3rd quarter score.
Still some 6 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Neither team has scored. Warren Harding led 7-0 at the end of 1. And 24-6 at halftime. There's a good look at our referee tonight, Jim Gahagan. Holding is the call against the Raiders offense. And that'll take the ball back to Harding's 37-yard line. So because it's a spot foul, you take 10 yards back from where the infraction took place. So in essence, that's a 13-yard penalty against Warren.
And now, if Ursuline's defense could get a good stand here, they're able to get the ball back, hopefully in some good field position.
Ingram drops into the gun this time around. With time. Fires complete. Has his man Pete Sparks. And he goes down quickly at the 44-yard line. Terrell Washington in on the stop for Ursuline. For Sparks, his 4th grab of the night. And it's really easy to see, Ralph, the power that Alex Ingram has in that throwing arm.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if this was a baseball game, I wish they had a radar gun here, because that looks like it's going there about 80 miles an hour. And give credit to the Harding receivers. They're catching these balls.
So a gain of 8. Ingram now with 69 yards passing tonight. Runs the quarterback draw, but Ursuline not fooled at all. Initially, it was Andrew Frasco who got in there to get a bump on Ingram before the rest of the Ursuline defenders came up to finish him off. And the ball will be spotted at the 42. That'll be a loss.
Yeah, it tries to keep and go up the middle, but like you said, Frasco gets a hold of him, and then he's going to get some help here and get a couple good shots on him. Alex Ingram hasn't been hit that much tonight. Ryan Hackett comes up and gives it to him right in the chin.
So after the loss of 3, the ball now sitting on the Warren 42-yard line. And it is 3rd and long for the Raiders. And they were 3 of 8 on 3rd down opportunities in the first half. Just over 4 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Harding leading by 18. Both backs going to the pass patterns. The pass off the hands of Mario Manningham and incomplete. Tried to make the grab at the Ursuline 45. Would have still been short of the first down, but now Warren Harding will have to punt, and we'll see what kind of field position the Irish will get.
Yeah, now going for it on 4th down doesn't seem as bad. Your defense steps up, holds him, is going to get the ball back now with the punt, so it doesn't hurt you. And you got to be happy for Coach Murphy that your defense, played pretty well right there.
So drifting back will be Derek Stewart awaiting the punt of Isaac Cheney. This will be Cheney's third punt of the night, but his first since the opening quarter. His longest punt was his first of the game when it went for 44 yards. His first 2 punts of the night ended up going out of bounds inside Ursuline's 10-yard line. With a wind in his back, the fair catch made for by Stewart at the 17. How about that punt? And that's when we talked about the wind. The power of the wind behind Isaac Cheney has aided each of his punts tonight.
Right. No chance for a return. Able to get your special teams down there, hold them, and again, they're inside the 20, and that's what Harding would like to do.
Timeout on the field. It's Warren Harding 24, Ursuline 6. You're watching the high school football game of the week on Fox 1762.
Governor for P&W Marketing asking the question.
So a 41-yard punt by Isaac Cheney. And Ursuline has to start at its own 17. Swing pass to Terrell Washington, quickly tackled on the play by Deshaun Robinson and thrown down after a gain of 3.
Tackle on the play by number 23, Deshaun Robinson.
You see Daryl Clark given a little bit of time to throw again that time, able to make a completion. But again, Harding's defensive backs playing tight, and you get a completion, but it's only worth 3 yards.
3 minutes and change left here in the third quarter. Warren Harding just trying to hold on, up 24-6 over Ursuline. From the 20-yard line. Second down now for the Irish. Clark lobs it, looks for somebody, but there's no one there along the sideline. The pass intended for number 20, John Butler.
And again, there's people running unabated again to the quarterback, not being blocked, and he's lucky he got rid of that ball when he did.
Third down and 8. Ball on the 20-yard line.
Clark now 8 of 15 passing tonight for 99 yards. And more than likely, he'll be going to the air here on third down from Ursuline's 20-yard line. Clark looks over the middle, throws complete to Stewart. Nice block on the play by Jimmy Hughes to free Stewart up and allow him to run all the way out to the 49-yard line. And a gain of 29.
Daryl Clark took another shot. Sign of a good quarterback is that you hang there in the pocket, and he's able to do so. Makes a big completion. He was looking that way the whole time, and that has been the route tonight for the Ursuline Irish, that quick slant route.
And Stewart now with 99 yards in 5 receptions. Last year against Warren Harding, Clark was 8 of 22 through the air for 155 yards. Tonight he's now 9 of 16 for 128. So his percentage has gone up this season. From near midfield, Clark again to the air. Pressured by McNeil. Runs into Harding territory and finally dragged to the ground by Marquet Allen. That results in a gain of about 6.
Yeah, really a smart decision by Daryl Clark. Sometimes you've seen him tonight throw the ball away, throw it into traffic, but there he tucks the ball and able to run and pick up a nice gain. And really, Harding defensive backs doing a nice job. Could have been a coverage sack, but Daryl Clark, being the athlete that he is, able to escape and turn it into a positive play.
Well, there's still just over 2 minutes remaining here in the third quarter, but you get a feeling that if the Irish score here, maybe some things could go in their favor down the stretch. They've still got a long way to go, though. Clark looking, pressured, and he will crash and burn back at the 47-yard line. This time the Raiders did not allow him to escape. Anthony Hope and Marquet Allen in on the stop defensively.
One of the things Harding is starting to do, and we saw it here on this play, we know that the Irish like to run that slant. The Harding linebacker has been so close to the line of scrimmage that slant has been open. But on that play, they ran the slant, but the Harding linebacker stayed back just a bit to take away that slant route.
Well, as you take a look there at head coach Tom McDaniel, he talks about what it's like to face a great quarterback that Ursuline possesses in Daryl Clark.
He is so critical to their success. He not only throws extremely well, runs extremely well, but he appears to make good decisions, and he's at the heart of every big play that they have. I think he's clearly the best quarterback that we've seen to date, and once I get through the season and can look back, I'm probably going to say that he's the best quarterback we saw all year.
And then again on 3rd and long, it's Clark out of the gun for Ursuline. Raiders pressuring him. Clark delivers. Pass is caught by John Butler. Unable to get away from Thaddeus Walker, and he's very close to the first down marker. Butler goes down at the Raiders' 42, and it's a gain of 10.
That's a big completion, but give Thaddeus Walker some credit, keeping the receiver in front of that first down marker and able to hold him and bring up another big 4th down play. And there you see Walker making that effort to keep him from converting.
Now 4th down and 1 for Ursuline. They went for it the last time they had the ball and failed to convert on 4th down right around midfield. Now in Harding territory, the Irish will go for it again on 4th down.
Yeah, they ran it last time. Want to see if they'll pass it this time.
Turnbull the fullback, Washington the deep back. He'll take the football and will not go anywhere. The Raiders have stuffed him. Terrell Washington will lose a couple of yards back to the 44. And Harding, for the second straight possession, has forced Ursuline to turn the ball over on down.
And again, you got to wonder if there was some confusion there, because it looked like Darrell Clark was signaling for that fullback to go in motion. He signaled twice, didn't go. Then they ran the ice up the middle, and just too many Harding players, defensive players, in the way.
And again, with inside of a minute to go, it would appear as if Warren Harding will continue to post a shutout in the 3rd quarter this season. So the Raiders offense will come out. 1st and 10 at the 44. Ferguson now runs in motion. Toss sweep to Richard Davis. Edmonds giving chase, but Davis turns the corner. If he stays in bounds long enough, he's going to go.
No, he's out of
nope,
bounds.
They're going to rule him out of bounds. That's what I thought. They're going to roll Richard Davis out of bounds back on the 40-yard line. Still a gain of 16 yards by the Raiders tailback.
You know what, I'm somewhat surprised they haven't run that play more often. You know, they ran the sweep earlier for the touchdown, got the key block they needed outside. Here they run it again for a 16-yard gain. I mean, with their speed, you just wonder why they don't go to this well a little bit more often.
See if we can see where he steps out. Right there. Good job. Oh, he was well out of bounds,
right.
Too. He stepped out at the 40-yard line of Ursuline. The fans don't like it, but a good call by the officiating crew. Still a solid run by Davis. It gives him 53 yards overall now on 8 carries.
Again, we see his speed, I think, really playing a factor there on that sweep. He's able to turn it on.
1st down now for Warren Harding from the Irish 40. Give to Ferguson. He'll go down right around the line of scrimmage. Joe Underwood, the first player for Ursuline to come up and make the stop. It'll be a loss of 1 actually on the play.
I'm sure Delbert Ferguson has some mixed feelings tonight. You know, I'm sure he's happy his team is winning, but you know deep down he got to wish that he was performing just a little bit better.
Inside of a half minute remaining in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and long for the Raiders. Harding with a commanding 24-6 lead as we get set to close the 3rd period. Ferguson runs in motion. Toss to Davis. They just ran this play a little bit ago. Now Davis trying to cut back. And will run the ball inside the 35 to the Ursuline 34-yard line on what should be and will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. So after 3, Warren Harding on the verge of winning its 6th consecutive game this season and capturing the Steel Valley Conference Championship. From Mollenkoff, our score heading into the final period is Warren Harding 24 and Ursuline 6. You're watching the high school football game of the week on Fox 1762. So Warren Harding looking for a Steel Valley Conference Championship in 2003. They stand 1 quarter away from capturing the title here tonight. They'll head into the final period leading Ursuline 24-6. There's a look at that breeze which is blowing here at Mollenkoff. For Warren Harding, they came into tonight's game 2nd in their computer region. The Raiders trailed only Mentor in Division I Region 1. So some computer points here available for the Raiders which will allow them to maintain their standing, if not improve upon that. problem with Ursuline, should they lose here tonight and drop to 3-3, they are well out of playoff contention. Now the Raiders came in trailing only Menor, and they had an advantage over St. Ed's, the team they had beaten a week ago. And Fitch right now, which has a big game against Cardinal Mooney, is also in playoff position at number 6 in the top 8 teams from that region will go. Richard Davis may go. Breaks through the line, and he's in. Touchdown to Raiders for Davis, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the night. And that'll be the final nail in the coffin. And Warren Harding now will easily pick up its 6th victory of the season.
Yeah, you got to think so. Going ahead by 24, 25 points there. Nothing fancy. Give the ball to Richard Davis, have him go right up the middle, give credit to those guys up front. Just blows the hole for him through the line and able to really much walk into the end zone. And you know what? Ursuline's defense really this 3rd quarter has played well. They really had, and they've been on the field a long time, and it's just a matter of time, so they kind of got wore down.
Joe Spain on for the extra point attempt. He's made his first 3 of the night, and he's made the 4th one as well. So Warren Harding scored 3 seconds into the 2nd quarter. They score 6 seconds into the 4th quarter here. Richard Davis has 3 touchdowns tonight, 1 shy of his season high. And the Raiders now have opened up a 31-6 gap over Ursuline. We'll step aside and return with more of tonight's high school football game of the week here on Fox 1762. Well, Warren goes 56 yards in 4 plays. The final play, a 34-yard touchdown run by Richard Davis, who now has 94 yards rushing tonight on 10 carries and 3 touchdowns. And John Flaminio puts yet another kickoff in the end zone for the automatic touchback. And Warren Harding now in command, 31-6 over Ursuline. A year ago in this rivalry, the Raiders rolled to a 43-10 victory. So very similar right now on the scoreboard. And the problem with Ursuline, they're going to have to pass obviously every down now. And when they've wanted to run tonight, the Raiders have been all over them. The Irish have run the ball 27 times tonight. They have just 19 net yards rushing tonight. The Raiders' defense has been very impressive.
Wow, when you think about that, 27 carries, 19 yards, it shows you the dominance of that Harding defense.
Clark out of the gun here from the 20 on 1st down. Throws complete to Walt Lacey, who gets knocked down at the 27-yard line.
And again, being down by 25 points, you wonder how long Ursuline could afford to just throw the little routes. They're going to need a score, and they're going to need to score awfully quick. And these little routes aren't going to get it done, I don't think. They're going to have to take some shots downfield.
2nd down for Ursuline from the 27. Terrell Washington, the ball carrier. 1st down yardage, slips and falls at the 31. It'll be a gain of 4. And, well, it's just been the kind of night it's been on the ground for Ursuline. Even when they're not tackled, they're still going down.
Yeah, it's just, like you said, it's just been one of those nights where, you can't seem to get anything going, and when you do, things like this happen. So, I don't think he was going much further than that. You see a lot of Harding defenders right in the area.
Still a gain by Washington, good for a 1st down. McLeod off the corner pressures, pass complete to Derek Stewart. He makes the grab at the 35. It'll be a gain of just a little over 4 yards on the play.
Clark, again, he gets rid of the ball, just when he has to, because he's seconds away from taking a big hit almost every single play.
Now Clark has completed his last 4 passes in a row. He's thrown for 149 yards tonight. He'll throw again. This one's incomplete, intended for Walt Lacey. And it'll be the 3rd down situation now for Ursuline. Still over 10 minutes remaining in the game. And Warren Harding looking to maintain its standing, as we showed you earlier, in Division I, Region 1 for the computer. And before the snap, the officials have intervened. Dead ball foul, illegal procedure is the call against the Irish. That'll march them back to the 30-yard line. Put them into a 3rd and long. And on the flip side, we talked about the importance of the game for both teams in computer points. Look at Ursuline, 17th in Division IV Region 13 United 5th, Cardinal Mooney 7th. The Irish desperately needed this win tonight to gain some valuable computer points. And they've got some big games coming up, but boy, it's going to be tough to make up that much ground in the final 4 weeks of the season.
Right, you know, a win tonight would have went a long way in bumping them into the top 7, but it's just not going to happen.
Now the pass intended for Derek Stewart's incompleted, but as you could tell, a flag came down for pass interference against Warren Harding. Here's a look at it again. Clark with the lob. That's what Ralph had been asking for, the deep ball. And Thaddeus Walker had coverage, but the officials felt a little too tight, and pass interference is the call.
Daryl Clark, we saw him throwing the ball quickly. We saw him throwing those short little passes. I think he threw a little nice touch there on the ball, able to throw it downfield, and I think that's what they're going to have to do.
So it'll be a 15-yard penalty, and that'll move the ball out to the 45-yard line of Ursuline. It will give the Irish a first down. And it'll give them their second first down because of a penalty against the Raiders tonight. Overall, the 11th first down of the game for the Irish. Clark rolls, throws. Walt Lacey can run it down. Joe Finnessy had coverage for Harding.
Again, Daryl Clark, I think, had to get rid of that just a little bit before maybe he wanted to avoid the big hit. And I'm not sure if Walt Lacey even saw that ball go over his head. But really, a little, again, nice pass, but yeah, he did. It just was just a little bit overthrown.
So the ball returns to the Ursuline 45-yard line. Irish face with second down and long. Give to Terrell Washington. Wrapped up on the play by Phil McNeil. And Washington goes down right around the 46-yard line, close to the 47.
It seems like that Harding defensive line gets rid of the offensive lineman and just kind of sits and waits for that running back to get there.
So a gain of nearly 2 yards, third and long for Ursuline. Trips to the top of your screen, as you can see. And Clark looks that way, but McLeod comes in, Boomer comes in. Finally, it's McNeil who gets the sack on Daryl Clark. Clark goes down at the 44. That's a loss of 3. And now it's fourth down, and Ursuline's going to have to punt it away.
And this play's going to bring up fourth down, and really, they had no chance from the very beginning. There was just guys around Daryl Clark everywhere he went. He did a nice job of escaping to get what he could, but you know, with the Harding speed and strength, they just throw a monkey wrench into everything.
Butler's 5th punt of the night for the Irish. Fair catch by Thaddeus Walker at his own 25-yard line, and that's where Warren Harding will put it in play. 9:07 to go in the game. We'll take a timeout. It's Warren Harding, 31, Ursuline 6. You're watching the high school football game of the week on Fox 1762.
The 7,500.
We're all here tonight for one reason, to keep Homer away from the buffet.
Springfield hosts a roast.
These people are professional roasters. Don't give them fodder.
And the man of the hour, Homer Simpson.
Are the proceeds going to charity? Hell no. Woohoo!
With a lineup that's out of this world.
You weren't in dress rehearsal, so you're not in the show. Ah! Can't be good for my pacemaker.
The Simpsons.
Monday night at 7 on Fox 1762.
First down and 10 for the Raiders, and before they can get their first play on this series underway, the officials have stepped in once again. Flag down, dead ball foul on this call. Illegal procedure is the call. That'll take the ball back to the Warren 20, and the Raiders now will face a 1st and 15.
Imagine with Harding wanting to run out the clock. We'll see a lot of their run game. Delbert Ferguson, Richard Davis.
Both players in right now. Davis close to reaching the century mark for the first time since week 2. Davis opened the season with a 116-yard rushing performance against Cleveland South. Followed that with 168 yards on the ground against Cleveland Kennedy, but since then has not reached triple figures in a game. And again, penalty flag. And another dead ball foul against Warren Harding. So the ball taken back to the 15-yard line. Raiders have now been flagged 8 times for 62 yards. So if head coach Tom McDaniels wants to work on something during practice this week, there's one. He's obviously not happy, despite leading by 25 points. Ingram fires complete to Anthony Hoke, the tight end. And look at Hoke's power. And he almost broke it. If it wasn't for Joe Underwood, Hoke would still be running.
Yeah, you said it right. You said it exactly right. His power, his legs are so big. I mentioned before the game that his calves look like most people's thighs. And he's able to take this 5-yard completion and just turn it into a big game by just pure physical strength. He's carrying defenders along with him. He's a shoelace away from a touchdown.
So the gain results in a pickup of 21 yards, out close to the 36, and a first down for Harding. Delbert Ferguson hit by Underwood and knocked down at the 39, following the gain of a little over 3 yards. Ferguson now 20 yards rushing tonight on 10 carries. Still over 8 minutes remaining in the game. The Raiders would love nothing more than to chew up 6 of those 8 minutes on this drive. Ferguson, the lone setback. Trying to find some kind of a hole to run through. Runs it out to the 43-yard line. Stopped by John DeSantis, number 34.
Kind of seems that Delbert Ferguson gets the ball, there's just nowhere to go. And, Richard Davis gets the ball, he seems to move it. So, I mean, you don't know if that Ursuline defense is just fired up to stop, Delbert, saying, hey, the game might be out of reach here, but let's not let Delbert Ferguson hurt us.
3rd and short now for Harding. Raiders have failed to convert on their only 2 third down opportunities here in the second half. Ingram pressured by Youngblood. Runs it out to the 48-yard line. Actually pressured by Underwood on the play. Still Ingram able to convert that 3rd down into a first down with some pretty impromptu running.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty amazing. It's again showing the athleticism of Alex Ingram. Just nothing downfield, able to move around in the pocket and get upfield to pick up an important first down. We're talking about running out the clock. You don't want to give Ursuline any opportunities, and that keeps the Irish offense off the field.
So the run by Ingram moves the sticks, and now Warren Harding with 4 fresh downs, starting from their own 48. Ferguson, inside handoff, runs into Ursuline territory and stops inside the Irish 46. Well, looking ahead for Warren Harding after tonight, they will play former Steel Valley Conference rival Boardman here at Mollenkoff next Friday. The Spartans have struggled this year, but then it gets a lot more difficult for the Raiders because they will play Canton McKinley on Saturday, October 11th, and then play host. Actually, that'll be their home finale. They'll have to travel to Massillon and then to Fitch to close out the season before heading into the postseason. Turnbull threatening to blitz. Raiders pick it up. Ingram throws to Mario Manningham. Manningham hit initially on the play by Andrew Edmonds. He has enough yardage for a first down. Manningham turns the pass into a gain, which takes it down to the 38-yard line.
Again, even though it was only a short gain, I think you see some of that explosiveness that people talk about when they talk about Mario Manningham. He catches the short pass, and you can see when he catches, there's just some excitement in the crowd. You can just sense that he's going to do good things with the ball when he gets it. Alertly gets upfield and takes down the first down.
Manningham's second grab of the night. It goes for 8 yards. He has a 15-yard touchdown reception to his credit as well this evening. Ingram with time in the pocket. Now just throws it away. Anthony Golpe was giving chase and forced Ingram just to give up on the play, but it results in a flag as well. The penalty against Warren Harding. Now after tonight, the Irish will have to regroup. They will play at Akron-Hoban next Friday. That's no easy task, but a lot of computer points on the line. Then Ursuline will play host to Columbus-Waterson, more computer points on the line. And they'll also match up against Cardinal Mooney in Week 9. That's a game that we'll have for you here on Fox 1762 on the 17th of October. And then the Irish will close out the campaign against a very improved Rayen Tiger team.
Right, both teams have a tough 4 games ahead of them, and even though Ursuline is going to be on the losing end of this one, there's a lot of, like you said, computer points available. If they can win out the rest of their schedule, they might make it interesting.
Well, the flag against Warren Harding was declined. Ball now at the 43. Actually, no, it was accepted. 5-yard penalty. Delbert Ferguson, in the meantime, goes down at the 45-yard line. Tackled by Anthony Golpe.
Coach McDaniels on the sidelines before that play, right before the snap, throws papers on the ground, and he's very unhappy with something his quarterback did or didn't do.
Well, one problem the Raiders had this evening is penalties. Like 9 times tonight. And Delbert Ferguson's had some problems getting on track. Ferguson tonight, he's been limited to 27 yards on 13 carries. Second and long for Warren Harding from the Irish 45. Ingram fires one to Mario Manningham. Races to the 24-yard line where he is tackled on the play by Derek Stewart and Bryant Youngblood.
That doesn't sound like a broken record, but he absolutely guns that ball into those receivers. I mean,
and twice on this drive now, we've seen Warren Harding convert on long yardage situations. It was 1st and 20. They gained enough yardage to move the sticks. Second and long here. The pass play to Manningham works for a gain of 21 and a first down.
Yeah, again, we thought they'd just run the ball and run the clock out, but when they need the pass, they need the first down, they're able to come up with it.
Ferguson remains the lone setback. He'll try the Irish once again. Drives down the 17-yard line. Delbert Ferguson with a gain on the play of about 5 yards. But the most important thing is Warren Harding has been able to use the clock on this drive. We're inside of 4 minutes left in the period. And for that matter, 4 minutes left in the game.
And we talked about running the ball, running the clock out, but doing a little bit of passing, but still accomplishing the main goal, which is to get to the end of this ball game.
Ball now at the Irish 17. Ferguson again to the 12-yard line. First down yardage after the gain of 5.
Certainly don't want to turn this game into an individual battle. We've talked a lot tonight about Delbert Ferguson, but you got to believe deep down he really wants to score a touchdown against his former team.
Well, Ferguson this year has 3 touchdowns, including one a week ago against St. Ed's. Raiders going for the knockout blow here. Ingram out of the gun, flanked by Davis and Ferguson. And it's number 3 with the ball. Ferguson to the 10-yard line and no more. Golpe pulls him back. Assisted on the play by DeSantis. Inside of 3 minutes left in the game. 11th play of the drive coming up for Warren Harding. The series began at the Raiders 25. They now have the ball right around the Irish 10. Second down here for Harding. In motion, Tony Reed. Ferguson off the toss. DeSantis disrupted that play initially, and Ferguson will lose a couple more yards.
Yeah, again, I think they're thinking the same thing we are. Wanting to get in the end zone. They send Tony Reed in motion to give him a block, and Tony Reed kind of whiffs on the block, and the man he was supposed to block comes in and disrupts the whole play. And the man he was supposed to block was number 34, John DeSantis, whose name we've called quite a bit tonight.
So it is 3rd and long now for Harding. Ball sitting on the Ursuline 13-yard line. We're inside of 2 minutes left in the game, so the Raiders have accomplished their main goal on this series, and that's to use as much of the clock as possible. Ingram with plenty of time. And they'll just throw it out of bounds again. Nice coverage by the Irish in the secondary to not allow a pass completion, or a pass attempt for that matter.
Right, and Alex Ingram doing the smart thing, throwing the ball out of bounds. Don't want to do anything stupid. And again, Coach McDaniel's probably telling him, you know, this was a close game. You want to do the right things. And even though it's not a close game, that was a smart decision.
But you can see the rain now starting to fall here at Mollenkoff Stadium. Joe Spain will come out to attempt a 29, well, I'm actually going to push it back. He'll attempt a 30-yard field goal here. Earlier in the game, Spain made a 36-yard field goal. This will be a 30-yard field goal. And now penalty flags. Warren Harding had someone late come on the field.
He almost ran into the snap.
Again, inside of 2 minutes remaining. In fact, we're down to a 1:25 left in the game. Dead ball foul here against the Raiders for an illegal substitution. That'll make Spain's kick just a bit longer here.
And again, even though this game's out of reach at this point, you know Coach McDaniels, you know, is telling his guys, hey, you know, you have to play every snap, you have to play smart because we're going to be in some close games. And, you know, you can't make those silly mistakes.
Well, keep in mind you can continue to watch the best in high school football right here on Fox 1762. Next week, we will head to Lowellville for a clash in the Inter-County League as the Lowellville Rockets match up against the Mineral Ridge Rams. This is not just the highlights. We've got the whole game. Next Friday night, it's the high school football game of the week here on Fox 1762, starting at 10:30, Mineral Ridge at Lowellville. We had that game a year ago, and Lowellville ran all over the Rams. This year, though, may be a different story.
Yeah, it should be a good matchup out of the ICL. Both of those teams with South Range are kind of the class of that league and a matchup of two of the best.
And Lowellville, in the meantime, trying to bounce back after its loss to South Range. Mineral Ridge trying to keep pace with the Raiders in the race for the league championship. And you can see the rain falling here at Mollenkoff. That'll send the fans that are remaining towards the exit gates. Warren Harding has done all of the scoring here in the second half, and that's only a touchdown to speak of. And it came here in the fourth period on a run by Richard Davis. So a 35-yard field goal attempt by Joe Spain. And he missed it. So Spain unable to hit his second field goal of the night. Misfires on a 35-yarder. So Ursuline will take over, trailing 31-6. The Irish with 2 timeouts remaining and about a minute and a half left on the clock. Now let's see what happened with Spain. A very sure-footed kicker. And it may have been partially blocked. Look at the way the ball's spinning and the trajectory.
Yeah, Derek Stewart came in untouched, as we say, and
just missed. It went under the crossbar.
For an ugly kick, that wasn't bad.
So Ursuline now with one last gasp from its own 20-yard line. Clark looks, throws. Got Walt Lacey. And Lacey with some speed. He'll go out of play at the 46-yard line of Warren Harding. So Ursuline looking for a consolation score in the final 70 seconds of the game. Clark tonight has thrown for 184 yards, including his most recent completion, which goes for 35. Fires complete again, this time to Derek Stewart, who dances his way down to the Harding 32-yard line. Stewart's 7th grab of the game for 116 yards tonight. That gives Stewart 23 receptions this season. tops on the team for Ursuline. Adds to it here with another grab. Jumps out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
And you know, even though Harding has a lot of their second-teamers in there, they're still playing hard. They still want to keep the Irish out of the end zone. They don't want to give up that consolation score.
Now Clark has now gone over the 200-yard passing mark tonight. He's thrown for 204. 123 of that to Stewart. John Butler makes this catch. And then is slammed to the ground by John Richardson at the 21-yard line. Inside of a minute to go in the game. Down to 47 seconds left. Warren Harding in command, and they've really been in command from the outset of this game.
Yeah, they never let Ursuline get anything going. They disrupted them on offense. They were able to score, put them, make them play a comeback game, and really dominated every facet of this ball game tonight.
Clark throws, pass caught by Mosley. Runs inside the 15, down to the 13-yard line. They'll keep the clock running, however. Irish still with 2 timeouts left. You have to wonder if they want to use either one of them. We're down inside of a half minute left in the contest now. Clark fires. Cannot find Stewart this time around. Pass is incomplete, and that'll stop the clock with 13 seconds left in the contest.
Clark pass is intended for number 6, Derek Stewart. Defending on the play, number 31, Marco Hall. Third down and 2, the ball at 13-yard line.
Clark tonight 18 of 27 for 216 yards passing. This time throws into the end zone, has his man, touchdown. Walt Lacey makes the grab, and the Irish get a consolation score before the close of the game.
Yeah, nice little drive, again, working against the Harding second team, but still, you want to teach your team, you want to go through it. It's a good 2-minute drill that they may need later on in the season. And there you see Clark's throw to Walt Lacey.
For Clark, his 10th touchdown pass of the season. For Lacey, it's his 4th touchdown reception of the year. And Ursuline to go for 2 here. Throws. This one through the hands of Lacey, and the 2-point conversion attempt fails. Yet the Irish do tack on 6 more points before the close of the game, and we're inside of 10 seconds left now. So the score reads Warren Harding 31, Ursuline 12. Well, you can watch Fox 1762 for the YSU football game of the week. The Penguins will take on Liberty. Not just the highlights. This game is live, the entire game. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, it's Youngstown State at Liberty here on Fox 1762. Plus, keep in mind, if you'd like to order a copy of tonight's game on VHS, it's very simple. All you have to do is call 1-800-442-2547 or log on to our websites. That's WYFX.com or WKBN.com for more information. So the Irish travel 80 yards in 7 plays. It's a 13-yard strike from Clark to Lacey, which caps off the series. And now Ursuline will kick off here. Dan Craig will tee it up. Heading back deep. Looks like he wants to put it in play deep, and no onside kick attempt here. And Craig indeed will put it deep. And Warren Harding was not expecting that. Craig's kickoff will go into the end zone for an automatic touchback. 8 seconds left in the game, and the Raiders can celebrate their 6th straight victory of the season and another Steel Valley Conference championship.
We hadn't seen Harding coming into this game, and I got to say that I'm pretty impressed. Overall they played really well against a good Ursuline football team, and I'm coming away from this game with a lot of respect for Coach McDaniels and this program.
Also, keep in mind during our post-game show, we will award our KeyBank Player of the Game to an individual tonight who made the biggest impact. So the Raiders just dropped to one knee. Alex Ingram after taking the snap. Only has to watch the final seconds tick away, and it is final now. From Mollenkoff Stadium, it is Warren Harding 31 and Ursuline 12. with the victory. The Raiders are now 6-0 overall this season, and they wrap up the Civil League Conference Championship with a mark of 2-0. For Ursuline, they slipped to 3-3, and they suffer their first loss in the conference this year. We'll come back with our post-game report as we continue with coverage of high school football on Fox 1762.
It's my fairy tale dreams and nightmares. Sipping on this potion, hoping make me see clear. Baby, feel back and present, sleep well. Champagne's now at every count. It's my fairy tale dreams.